All right. Good evening. Welcome to the Georgia Shooting Connection Friday night live stream. Tonight we have a special guest with us, Eddie B. Tonight's a little bit of a solemn night due to some news that came down through the week and a little bit into last week when we weren't streaming last week. We'll talk about that here in a second. But we've got Eddie B with us, fellow Georgian from the middle of the state, Chico Wise, Kyle Lusk, Jamie, of course, and we may have a spot of somebody else here in a little bit. So everyone wants to say hi and kind of pass it around.
Sure, definitely. Hey guys, thanks for being here. Like always on Fridays, I'm excited about being here, and I'm excited about you guys being here. So, thanks for showing up.
Eddie, go ahead, man.
Hey guys, I know I'm new here. Some of you may have seen my channel. I've been hanging out a little bit on Slack and around the so maybe you know me, maybe you don't, but nice to be here.
I was just saying hi in the side chat a little bit. Good evening, everybody. Happy Friday. Of course, I'm sure all of you know me. I'm Kyle, the one, the only. Been a rough last couple of weeks. Everybody's been going through a lot of stuff, so I'm just glad that everybody could take the time to sit here and listen to this for a minute.
Hey guys, y'all please bear with me tonight. I have no internet connection. I'm flying off the phone tonight, and I'll have no access to the side chat. So I'm trusting the other guys to fill me in on what's going on. We'll see what transpires. Thanks for being with us. It's another Friday night. Some of the guys were just saying that Friday night is pretty much the pinnacle of the week. I think that's what Nathan says, but I'm here to tell you I was born at 6 o'clock on a Friday night, and I've been living for the weekend ever since. If I may be so bold, as all y'all know, the loading and shooting community has lost two of our dear brothers in the past 2 weeks. We've lost Ed USAF, and we've lost C-Max. And C-Max's funeral is today. And if you guys on the panel would be so kind as to remove your lids, I will lead us in a word of prayer. Let's bow. Great and gracious Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight as humble as we can, thanking you for another day, another gift of life that you've blessed us with as we mourn for a couple of our brothers. Lord, you know better than we do the meaning of all these things, and we just trust in you and in your name. But Father, we take this moment to thank you for the lives of Ed and for Chris. We thank you that you've blessed us enough to get to know them, maybe even as limited as it has been on our YouTube community. But Father, I believe you're going to use this to reach those that don't know you. I just pray especially for the families of these two fine men. They left loved ones behind, Lord, that's going to miss them, and they're going to miss them in the days and weeks ahead, the months and years ahead. And Lord, we know that we can trust in you, that we pray that you would give them the comfort that can only come from you, that you'd give them that blessed assurance to know that one day, if we know you, that hopefully we'll get to see them again. Lord, we just pray that comfort and love come down from you to all these families that are hurting so bad. And as we, the friends of Ed and Chris, are help us to be mindful that there's a hurting family and there's friends here on YouTube that's going to hurt, that's going to miss them. Lord, we just pray that you'd help us to remember to reach out and touch them. Father, we thank you for all those watching tonight. We pray that you just be with us. And we thank you for allowing us to do what you've allowed us to do. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
And for Georgia boys back.
Yeah.
Especially for Georgia boys back. I'm sure he heard it lugging that big old lead melting pot from the mailbox into his reloading room.
It wouldn't have been so bad if it didn't have that PID on the back side of it. That had to have added 60 pounds to it.
Congratulations, Georgia boy. We're proud of you, brother. Wish you was here with us tonight. Is he in the chat room?
I haven't seen
Not yet.
All right, here's what we got. Of course, we got the one, the only PC Bullet Empire showed up. JCM 45's here. Mr. Cranky is here. Preacher's Day Off just showed up with a big amen. Thank you, brother. Thomas Pickering's been here for a little bit. Uncle Jim's popping in, say hello. Loaded Cap Guns in the house. James Pollard's in the house. Of course, the panel's on the house. Or not on the house. We charge for that. MCK is here. Tread's here. I think that's about got it for right now. We're up to 14. Just want to say hey to everybody and thanks for showing up.
Yeah, absolutely. Hello to everyone out there. I hope you've had a good past couple weeks. I know we took last week off. I didn't get to watch I still haven't even watched the replay of the Reloaders Network chat. I hope everything went well there. If we got anything interesting hanging over that we need to talk about, you guys go ahead and let me know. I was kind of out of communication there for the past couple of days. So while I've been behind, now I'm really behind as far as getting everybody's videos. So keep me in the loop if we got anything. Like I said, Jamie's not going to be on the side chat tonight because of unfortunate car accident. So I guess
not to Jamie. He's experiencing technical difficulties.
Yeah, absolutely. So Eddie, what got you into reloading, brother?
Buddy of mine, he'd been bugging me to do it for years, and I never had. And I guess I didn't have enough projects going on, so I took on another one. We shoot a lot, and it just finally. I know it doesn't save you money, but I do get to shoot a lot more.
Yeah, that is a kind of a common saying there is like it ain't gonna save you any money, but you'll end up shooting a lot more. That's for darn sure.
Yes.
Do you cast and everything as well?
Well, I've just gotten into casting just a couple of months ago, and the only two molds I have at this point are the Lee 55 grain 223, and I just recently picked up my first NOE mold, which is actually 217 caliber air rifle bullet, 30 grain flat nose. I know some of the guys on Slack have seen it. I've been talking about it a little bit.
Yeah, that's a pretty interesting topic, or I guess area to go into with reloading, because a lot of times I personally don't think about that, but I know my grandfather, I know a lot of other people that are really into air rifle shooting, and there's also like a big like target air rifle shooting thing going on. So be interested to see how much that different grains of bullets help with different things, and I'm sure there's a lot to that that I'm not.
Oh yeah, there's a huge air gun community here in the States. Even you think more of the European guys, especially England, but there's a really big air gun community here in the States too.
I was told one time, I don't know how much validity this has, but I was told that the guns that they used going west there, that they used air rifles a lot there because they didn't need gunpowder and stuff like that, which would get wet. And they just took like tanks of air or something. I don't know how the hell all that worked, but I mean, I can only imagine, like Pocahontas over there, like, go pump this thing up. We got a bear coming. But yeah,
leave Elizabeth Warren out of this.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't got a hell of a lot of experience messing with that side of it yet. Sounds like an interesting way to go, though.
Yeah, it's just like reloading. It's another really deep rabbit hole. You as you want to.
Now you're telling me that
and I like it for the fact too that I can shoot at home a lot more. I'm out in the country, but I try not to annoy my neighbors any more than I have to.
You have a 30 cal air rifle?
No, it's a 30 grain. It's actually a air rifle, but it's a 22 caliber air rifle barrel is actually 217. It's not 22.
Okay, you said a 30 cal air rifle earlier, and I was like, wait, what?
Well, now
switch to a
actually,
wattage or something?
you might be surprised because they have 45 caliber air rifles, 50 caliber air rifles, 50 caliber. I think I've even heard of a 20 millimeter.
Yeah, Kyle. That's what I was talking about. That Lewis and Clark stuff. I mean, they were actually using full size rifles. I think. I mean, that's what I was told.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, and of course the Missouri duck load here comes through. It says 1804 Lewis and Clark. Yeah. I was looking for those names in my brain pan, but I was coming up sideways, and I'm like, come on. There we go. There it is.
Actually, now I do remember some of those stories from that. But yeah, it was when you said a 30 cal air rifle, I'm like, wait a minute, I've got several. I've got a .177. I've got a 22 cal. hadn't really played with a 30 cal. That could be fun.
Well, if you want to waste a few hours, just get on YouTube and type in big bore air rifle.
Oh, great. Thanks.
I saw a video the other day. These guys were deer hunting with one. I think it was like a 50 or 54 caliber. And it has this, it looked like an over-under shotgun, but the bottom barrel was a big old air cylinder. They pumped that sucker up full of air. If I saw the velocity, I don't remember it, but yeah.
Kyle, there's a guy that follows me and that I follow on YouTube that shoots this exact bullet right here in his. Let's see if I can get this. He shoots this bullet in his air rifle.
Wow.
Yeah, 385 grain hollow point.
The Google Jim's talking about suppressed air rifles. I'm not sure.
Yeah, just most of them are suppressed. Both of mine are suppressed.
Like, I imagine that don't make much noise at all.
They make a lot of noise if you don't suppress them.
So I guess they would. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, all that energy being released at the muzzle.
Yeah.
Cranky, don't jinx us.
Yeah, Cranky's talking about shooting in the house. I'm not sure about all that now.
No, he's saying half of us have killed a chrono or two.
Well, close to half.
Hey, Jeremy, you bringing your chrono tomorrow?
I don't know. I'll get back to you.
So I got a question for Eddie, if I may.
Sure, go ahead.
So since you've been reloading, I'm thinking your first reloads was a rifle round.
I started with 357 and 38.
Okay.
No, actually, I started. So you're correct. I did start. My first reload were for 30-30, and then my next set of dies were 357, 38.
Okay.
What all are you loading for now?
Let's see. 300 blackout, 30-30, 32 ACP, 357, 38 special, 45-70, 45 Colt, of course, air rifle. I don't know. I probably left something out. Pretty good bit.
What flavor bullet you running in the 45 Colt?
Let's see. I think it's a 200 grain. I really haven't done a lot with the 45 Colt.
Okay, all right. I was just wondering. Some people have their preferred favorites. I actually use the same bullet in my 45 ACP as I do my 45 Colt. They both just eat them up. So.
Yeah, actually, I've played more with shot shells in the 45 Colt than anything.
That sounds like a lot of fun, though.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, I went for my 45 Colt. I used the 255 grain Keith style, but it's a Lyman Keith style, so it's not an original style, and it seems to love it. Imagine with those air rifles that you got to shoot some dead soft lead. You probably couldn't use anything that's like a wheel weight or anything, right?
No. I'm shooting definitely really soft stuff.
So save all my stick-on wheel weights and buy me. I never that thought never even crossed my mind. Buy a mold for my for my pellet rifle. That thought never crossed my mind.
Well, yeah, NOE. Well, you got to have something that's shooting, a pretty good amount of foot pounds. It's not going to work very well and I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what kind of air rifle you have, but it's usually pre-charged pneumatics that people shoot the slugs in.
Well, this is a Gammo, and they go supersonic.
Okay. It may handle it. I'm not sure. Never really. I haven't played with I guess it's a spring piston or gas piston brake barrel.
Spring piston, I think. Yeah, brake.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not messed with those. I'm not sure how it would work.
If anybody's got any .177 cast bullets, my address is.
Well, now I got my 22 mold from NOE, but I'm not sure that they make a 177. The only 177 air rifle that I'm aware of at this time, the guy's got a 17 HMR barrel on it.
Wow. Okay. I don't think it's 22 caliber. It might be. I don't know. It's fairly new to me. I just got it to run squirrels out of my gutters and not hit the gutters.
There's some talk here about coffee and French presses, Jamie. Just to keep you in the loop, riveting stuff.
Hey man, I made coffee in my French press just this afternoon.
I don't even have a French dress.
You would look fantastic in a French dress, preferably green, I suppose. Chantilly lace, and such. Yeah, I've never tried one of those. I probably have it. I probably just haven't paid no damn attention. But I've never owned a press or anything. I've got a pour over that Loaded Cap Gun got me that I absolutely love if I'm gonna do something kind of special. And we have a place in town that roasts, and I can get it ground really well, and that works really good for my fancy coffee.
Well,
we got a couple of new faces over in the side chat. Bigger behind the trigger. Your package is still sitting right there. There's been a couple of events unfold in the last couple of days, and you'll see one of them here in a little bit. Loads of bacon popped in. Armament and Axes is here. Just wanted to say hey to y'all. So, hey. I guess I'm on side chat duty tonight. I guess.
Yeah, hey man, that works.
You're doing well. You're doing well.
I'll have to think of other things to say then.
And the odd thing is, JCM 45. No, I do not have an update on Willie. He hasn't texted me back. I haven't heard anything back from him in a day or two. I don't know if anybody else does.
Oh, I wanted to say, hey, Bacon. Now that you're on the side chat, I got the cards in the mail while I was on vacation. Dude, that is really, really cool, man. I appreciate it. I'll have to find a way to make something. I'm gonna have to make a video sooner or later. I mean, it's been months now, I think. So I'm gonna have to figure out a way to get that into a larger scale video situation here soon.
I got mine the other day too. Thanks, Mr. Bacon. I appreciate it very much. And I think that's going to work pretty well to us regular guys will be ordering some of those cards, I believe, so that we can help support the channel. I got mine right here.
I think they're perfect size and they have the perfect information on them. There's no useless dead space or anything. It's bam, there it is. Whoop.
There you go.
Yeah, but I don't know about y'all, but I think they have a lot. They're a lot better information wise or a lot more space to put more information on those cards compared to what comes in a regular, you know, if you buy an ammo box, you know, it's got like 3 lines or something. You know what I mean? It's got the date, the caliber, the load, the bullet, the charge. You know, yeah, they were awesome. I like that was a good idea, definitely.
Hey, Eddie B,
Yeah.
congratulations.
How's that? Longest video?
It's been on your longest YouTube video.
There's no doubt about it.
It's not always about the length; it's about the quality, right?
That's my theory.
Ben said that.
You know, I got another question for Eddie. I may have a couple of them.
Okay.
So you said 2 months you got into casting. What pushed you into casting your own bullets?
Well, I've talked about it a little bit, but I play around a lot with subsonic loads, and I shoot a lot of shotgun powder and fast powder, and I could not find anybody that had a cast 223 bullet, so I had to cast my own.
Right. Makes sense.
So that's
definitely.
what pushed me into it.
Jamie Eagle Eye said that he took 10 of those cards and left them at the gun store, and people have been taking them. So just kind of an idea for getting information out there. I saw something recently. I got an email or something recently from Lyman saying that they were going to start, like, they partnered with some other reloading channel network thing that I've never heard of. And like, I think I went to the site and I'm like, this is relatively dead. Like, what? So I don't know what's going on with some of that. I think there's some weird shit going on, correlating also with what we've been dealing with. Bake has been sending us emails out about deleting videos lately. So I don't know. But yeah, I haven't got hit. Have any of you guys gotten hit with the videos being deleted yet?
No, I have not, thankfully. But yeah, that was interesting on Bacon's post about they deleted. This is the 3rd video so far. So yeah.
Yeah, it seems like they've deleted like 3 different videos, but I don't think they've given anybody any strikes on it. So it's like, look, this might not necessarily be exactly against policy, so we're not going to give you any strikes, but we don't like it, so we're going to delete it anyway.
We're going to remove it. Right. Yeah, that sucks.
I don't know. This chicken shit, but, you know, what are you going to do? So, Eddie, have you did you get involved with any of the other like cast bullet forum or anything like that before you started, and then kind of come up with some pet loads, or did you just kind of jump right in with just doing whatever it was that the manual said and try that?
Bueller.
He might have.
Very well might be froze. All right. Yeah, YouTube algorithm is searching for keywords, which flags for review. That's entirely possible. I don't know. I think I've got some out there that are about casting, which seems to be what is triggering people. But mine, I don't have a lot of man, I've only got like 300. I think I got 357 subscribers. All right.
Really
So,
cool number.
Another thing is, I don't think we're going to have a cameo appearance tonight,
all right.
but there will be a visitor here in the morning. He's about an hour and 20 minutes away.
Okay. So yeah, I haven't got hit yet. I'm sure that there's a whole way that they're trying to screw us. I mean, I'm sure they've got that figured out to the T. But it looks like Eddie's still staring off in that one direction, so he might be froze still.
Squirrel.
Yeah, well, I'm assuming maybe his feed or something has kind of jammed up on him.
Yeah, he was a little blotchy to me.
Yeah, he says he's buffering right now. Unfortunately, maybe his will come back around here in a bit. Watch your titles. You can test a video and post unicorns and stuff with an AR-15 as a video photo. Name it "How to Reloading Armor Piercing Ammo," and you'll see a hit. Yeah.
What is My Little Pony? What the hell?
Yes, sir. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
Yeah, Armit, I did. I kind of got a kick out of that. I got the 357 subscribers. I thought that was kind of cool. I just saw that today. Let's see if I can try to send out another invite to Eddie. So I'm going to pop off here for just a second, at least.
Back.
Oh, there
No
he is.
problem.
He's back. Ish.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've heard that the algorithm could change, or it changes ever so often based on those keywords, and that prompts a little concern because some of my may have the word casting in it, but I haven't yet received a strike or been removed, which I'm very appreciative of to the YouTube. But that is it's kind of frustrating to not know what you can and what you can't do. I guess it come with time.
Yeah, that's been one of the beefs. I mean, I don't want to go down this rabbit hole too far tonight, but that's been one of the problems ever since
Right.
the whole damn thing started, was that it was not clear what it was that they were intending to do. If you read it from one perspective, it's like they didn't want any reloading, any casting, anything. And then you read it from another. People were trying to expound on the idea of manufacturing, not necessarily the lexical definition. And then there's the idea of whether or not there's any kind of monetary gain and whether or not you're advertising. It became so unclear what it is that they're wanting to get off of their website. And I wish that they would.
Give me just a second. I told you I might have to pop off.
All right, man.
I gotta be in communications right quick.
Yeah, it works.
I'll be back.
All right, Kyle. So yeah, that's been a pisser for me since the get. Like, and I know a lot of guys at first were real worried about what they were going to post, how it was going to work, and then other people just kind of were like, "Well, I'll post whatever and see what happens." And it looks like the bigger channels are getting hit first, so it's unfortunate. What are you working on there, Jamie?
I'm got my 35 Remington. I got it caught out in the rain hunting the other night. I'm sorry, didn't mean to be a distraction.
No, sir. I'm just asking what you got there. It's always good to see one.
Nothing y'all not seen many times. I hope you're watching my videos. But Eddie's trying to put their feet to the fire. If we're going to talk about that, Eddie had a really cool video come out yesterday. I don't know how many of y'all saw it, but
it's still up, by the way.
He's kind of calling them out. What did you name that?
I think I just called it casting bullets, but I put a few keywords in there, lineman and some other things. I'm not sure now.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm probably so small it won't get noticed, though.
Yeah, but I think you dropped your drawers and showed them your backside, didn't you?
I tried.
Well, we'll find out what happens. And y'all guys have seen my videos. I've not been doing this very long, but I think Kyle coerced me into doing my first video around the end of March, 1st of April. And then we started on that 35 Remington project, and I've made no bones about what I was doing, and the views just keep going up on those things. And I looked today, and 35 Remington Load 1 is up to over 400 views, which is a lot for me because I only have like 140 some odd subscribers.
Yeah.
So
Loads of Bacon says that one of the guys that had a video deleted has 14 subs. So it is going to be here to there. We're not going to know exactly for sure.
well, there you go.
I'm gonna do that, Vanessa. Vanessa said, just mention mathematics and you'll have thousands of subscribers.
2 + 2 = loaded round.
Right. If I have 40 pounds and I get 2 more, how many do I have?
Oh, man.
I did good. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Sorry, I'm sorry.
I did good with math till I started putting letters in there.
Oh, yes. English and math doesn't really go, you know. When they put letters in there, it throws me off too.
Well, we got Vanessa Kitty out there. Inside Freedom. I don't think we said anything. He's out in the chat. Appreciate it. Armin Axis came out and said hello. James Pollard. You know, everybody else, guys. We really appreciate you coming out. We said earlier, you know, it is kind of a solemn week for us with the loss of C-Max and Ed USAF, and like to keep their family in our prayers. And doesn't seem like much we can do about it, you know. All we can do is just kind of hope it doesn't affect us, as you know. Anyway, yeah, I'm not good when it comes to that kind of stuff. I'm that other guy that's just kind of don't want to. If I ignore it, it'll go away, kind of thing, I guess.
Well, no. One thing we need to come to grips with is the end of life is part of life, and we need to comprehend that. And I think what you got to do is ask yourself where those two guys are right now, and then ask yourself if you're prepared for the time when your time comes, and are you sure you're going to be able to be with them? Are you going to meet those guys in the good place? I hope. And it's all about basically is do you know that you know that you know where you're going to spend eternity when this life is over with? And you know, y'all don't tune in here to hear me preach a sermon, but there's guys probably out there in the chat room that can do a whole lot better at it than I can. But I just pray that we all get to meet up in the next life as well.
Absolutely.
I agree.
And I think more and more of us, as we get to know each other better and better as time goes by, and we grow those friendships and those relationships within our community, I think you're going to find that there's more Christian guys out here than you think. I mean, that's been the surprise to me.
That's very true, Jamie. I was actually surprised about that too, but I'm finding that to be the case exactly.
Well, yeah, that's the beauty of it. I don't know if it's just the gun community or some of the internet, not all of it, because some of it's pretty bad. But I've always been surprised at how many people there are. There's more people that are nice and reasonable and good people that aren't, you know, than there are the crappy ones, you know. But you're kind of led to believe that there's nothing but crap out there when you maybe look at Twitter or you look at the news for damn sure. So it is kind of interesting that there are so many good people out there, even if we don't know it.
That I agree. I agree totally. They are good people in the world.
So Eddie, what kind of projects are you working on? Let everybody know what you're messing with and how many 3-minute videos we're looking to put out here soon.
Eddie B, is he gone?
All right, he just doesn't like my questions. That's what it is. That's just full on avoidance. I get it.
I try to do some show prep from time to time. I know y'all find that
because I'm hanging up and dragging.
Yeah,
it happens.
One that I saw that I really liked of Eddie B's, I saw it yesterday or today. One was where he's taking round balls and loading them in 223s and shooting them out in the backwoods back there behind his house, I assume. How much powder are you putting in those, Eddie?
Might be surprised if I told you. Let's see. That's a tightwad load, and I think it's about, if I remember right, about 3/4 of a grain.
No way.
Yeah.
3/4 of a grain. Wow.
How do you get it to combust?
Well, you got to remember tightwad is a really, really fast powder.
It is. Like you said in that video, it's pretty much at the top of the speed chart, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's in the top 5 if I'm remembering right.
Yeah, I would imagine Tight Group is not far behind it. That's one of my favorite 9mm well pistol powders. I really like Tight Group.
Yeah. I know my favorite powder.
Here you go.
I load more Universal than anything.
I've not tried Universal. I need to get up into the 20th century, I guess.
Yeah, if you load Unique, if you ever try Universal, you'll throw it out.
I've never tried Unique.
I, on the other hand, have a ton, and I love it.
Universal
I love it.
or Unique or both?
Unique. I've tried. I think I had a pound of Universal, and I used it, and I didn't. I just habit. I just stick to Unique, even though the Universal's close to the same kind of idea. I don't know why. Like I said, just habit.
Just a lot cleaner.
Yeah, I mean, people say that. I don't have that problem. Like a lot of people do. I don't. Like my Unique loads are usually really pretty clean. Now, if I try to load, there's certain things I can't load with Unique and keep clean. I can't really load 38 specials with Unique. Some people try to do it. I can't. It gets dirty. But that's one of the few. Man. Most of the handgun stuff that I can load with Unique, I will, and I don't have that problem. Now I like Unique also because the cast bullet loads you can do with some of the rifles, and there's a lot of published stuff out there, especially in the cast bullet forum and things like that. Well, chat is running, man. I can't even keep up. I go to say hi to somebody, I look down, 40 messages old.
Yeah, now I'm paying attention. But hey, Jamie Fuzz Fork wants to know. I believe he's talking to you. How was the hardness test on Willie's bullets?
Fuzz ain't gonna give me a break on that, is he? I've not found my
Time yet.
but if y'all hold on, I'll try to find my pencils in my thing, and we'll see if we can do that right now. Hold on just a minute. I'm gonna be listening, but
Okay.
I'm gonna block off here and
We got you.
let me see what
Go.
I can find.
Sorry, Nathan. I didn't mean to jump in. Sorry.
No, that's fine, man. No, Signal Soldier says, how are you finally home from all the hurricanes and stuff? They kept me busy. I bet they did, brother. That has been some devastation. We drove through, not right on the beach, but we drove through a little bit inland. We went down 10, and from Michael, and the trees that are down. I mean, down here, I don't know, us on the panel know about this, but down here you have a lot of planted pine trees. They're really, really tall. They're loblolly pines, stuff like that. And I mean, they're just all of them down, like a whole forest is just down, like the world's biggest damn tornado came through and just devastated everything. I mean, it was crazy how many trees were down. We went all the way up. When we left out, we went up north and went up around, and then came back down to try to get away from that area of 10. And it was still just as bad, damn near. It's crazy the amount of storm damage. I hope all those people are recovering, and that's crazy. Oh, Tread Ducks going south. Okay, so the Ducks have gone south for the winter, apparently, in case we're all wondering. I don't see mine, so obviously that is the case. He left while I wasn't paying attention. And man, I bet it is getting colder. I think it was somebody told me it was in like in the 40s in the middle of the day up there. Now I don't know what side. I'm sure you're closer to kind of the southwest, but I was thinking more on the east, but still it's getting really cold out there. Yeah, there's just a ton going on here. Mike Force 1, glad to be here. Go ahead, bud.
Oh, well, sorry. It says Cranky has ordered a pound of Unique. He hasn't. He just ordered a pound of Unique. He said he has used Universal.
Yeah, Armored Axis seems to have the same thing. He says the line powders are dirty. Man, I've heard that a lot, and I just don't seem to have that issue. And I know other people do, and it might just be because I don't mind. Like I don't mind wiping my guns off. It just doesn't bother me. The only time I've ever had an issue with anything burning dirty, what I consider to be dirty, was 38 Special with Unique, and sitting next to the gun, like behind them, on the shooting bench, it felt like you were getting sandblasted. That was dirty.
Yeah.
Normally, I don't have any problems at all with it. So I don't know. It just depends. I know that a lot of people use Bullseye for a lot of things. I don't know. Maybe it just depends on when you came in and what you're used to. Kentucky looks good, says Cranky. We had some schools that just started back last week. Yeah, that is just crazy. Eagle Eye also not liking the Alliant powders. So, Oh, Eagle Eye Sooty. Come on, man. Just wipe your gun off. Yeah, that's pretty much what we got is Unique is Sooty. So, yeah, I know because cleaning our guns is just so hard work, man. You killing me. But, so, Eddie, what big projects are you working on or are you wanting to work on here soon?
Well, I've kind of gotten off on a tangent with these air rifle bullets. That's mainly the only thing I've been casting lately. I think the last thing I loaded was some 223. Well, the 223 cast, just some of the low velocity loads I've been playing around with. Cool enough to start shooting here again. So I've got to get tuned up on some 357 and some of my higher 47.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I know there's a lot of guys. I think Jamie was talking about a lot of guys are starting to. I mean, I guess we're starting to get into hunting season. And I thought I was going to end up going this year, but I might not. I don't know how it's going to turn out. But I'm not quite. Everything snuck up on me, man. I feel like the past month or 2 months. I don't know about you guys, but it just seems like everything kind of happened really fast, and all of a sudden it's like, holy crap! It's 3/4 of the way or whatever through October. I'm still thinking it's the beginning of September. So, yeah, get behind on some of those projects. Yeah, Loads of Bacon says here that he thinks that some of this stuff with Unique, the higher the load, the cleaner it burns, which I mean makes sense, especially depending on barrel length. I don't want to say I shoot hot, but I do shoot relatively on the higher end of things. I work up loads, and then where I find a load that works, a lot of times it's pretty warm with handgun loads. So maybe that's why I don't have the problem with it. 38 specials are loaded down, so there's not much you can do about it. Unless you're trying to shoot 357s and 38 specials, which I've seen guys do, which makes no sense to me. Just get a 357. Dirty South
and I know you
sweatshirt.
said pretty hot. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I know you said pretty hot. Those are pretty hot. And are you getting that by the max on your load data, or because I was reading somewhere, even though that published load data is still within a safe range, even at the max, and even probably above that for some kind of legality. I was really wrong, if you understand my question.
Yeah, no, I get you. Look, there is supposedly, when they publish load data, when they make load data,
A buffer.
yeah, there is a safety buffer involved. There is a certain amount of percentage, but you got to remember that is there because of firearms, right? So if you've got, I don't want to use 38 special, but it's one of the easier ones to use for this. But let's say you have an old Smith & Wesson, J-frame 38 special, police, M&P or something like that, an old one. That thing may only be able to hold so much, where a new one be able to hold a hell of a lot more. So that's where a lot of that buffer comes in. So I try not to go off the reservation unless I know that's where I'm working. Like I've got a bullet that's odd or something like that. And when I think of hot loads for me, a lot of times I'm more looking at speed. Like I know my load is safe as far as pressure goes. Like for instance, I use a 200 grain semi wad cutter in my
45
and my 1911, and I'm usually running 950 or so, somewhere up there. somewhere close, and that's where it likes to be. And it's not, the pressure isn't too far. It's actually a close to a published load, depending on which book you're looking in. So it's just, I find like a lot of my loads like that are right in those kinds of areas where unique seems to work real well, which is kind of a hotter pistol round. And I totally understand that.
Yeah, I had a similar same issue, or not issue, or occurrence when I was loading tight group and CFE pistol. It seemed like my best groupings or accurate loads were at the top end, because I run like 4.9 CFE pistol around those, but kind of, I mean, tight group, I'm sitting right at about 4 grains. That's almost like at the max, but those are my best groupings. So,
Yeah.
just kind of threw that question out there.
Well, there's a couple reasonings for that. It doesn't always hold true, right? But the reasoning, the idea is the more pressure you put everything in, right, the hotter it's going to burn. So the more complete the burn, so it's going to burn the same every time. It's like there was a guy back in the day on the Cast Bullet forum, when you would talk about grip, right? He would say, grip the gun as hard as you possibly can, because that's always going to be the same.
Right.
And there is truth to that. And it's kind of the same idea. It doesn't always hold true, though. And especially doesn't hold true, in my opinion, in rifles. Rifles are so much more depending on your distances you're shooting. If you're only shooting at 100 yards and you're doing target loads, I have no reason to be anywhere near the max of anything, because there's certain powders, like I can 30-31, some other stuff, where I can get really ridiculous accuracy with what seems like a reduced load. So, and it really kind of depends. My 41 mag has been one that seems to be okay with a reduced load and be real accurate, or top end loads. It doesn't like anything in the middle. It's like it wants to knock your hand off, or it wants to be a kitten. It does not want anything in the middle.
Right.
But I found more luck with 357s, more towards the middle high. When I start getting them up real high, it could just be me. I start to loosen. Maybe my grip or something. Maybe I start loosening up. I don't know, but I think it kind of depends. I mean, the idea is the more full the case, the more consistent of a burn you're going to have and all that stuff, right? That's where, I mean, the old loading methods were find out what fills the case up the most and gives you the most feet per second. That's probably what you want to work with. It's not entirely true, though. It's just a
Right.
very large general rule of thumb. Trail bushes, yeah. Eddie says, Eddie said the Trail Boss is great for low velocity. Man, I love Trail Boss. Love me some Trail Boss. I'm gonna have to get into Trail Boss and some other loads just to see what it does. Yeah, I was using my Trail Boss for my 45 Colt loads, right? For my handgun 45 Colt loads, and I got some ridiculous results. Like, I mean, those kind of results where you think you can just kind of like, just point it at the target, and the bullets would just like by force come to the center. Trail Boss is ridiculous that way. I've watched Uncle Jim do that like a million times. Yeah. Chico's pinging. Dude, I think everybody is. Oh, there we go.
I know Big Al asked me, and this could even Nathan may be able to help. It says, how much, if any, accuracy lose with your lead form? So normally what I shoot when I go to the range, and I like it, I definitely like it, but the cost is there, are these Barry's bullets. And they are, in my opinion, they're a great bullet, but they're expensive as heck. This is the very first round I started loading, and they shoot accurate. So when I started shooting the lead bullets, I did see a deviation, but you got to think I would assume from the manufacturer, they've got, if you weigh one of these 124 grain bullet, it's like maybe either minus or plus 2 tenths. That's it. With the lead, in my opinion, from what I've been noticing, sometimes you can have one that's a grain higher or a grain less. So I may have a 124 grain lead mode, and I may get 124.6. I may get 125.1. Big Al, if that answers your question. So I think until I finally make these tune them real good, I think the lead is not less than, but it's up as accurately as possible compared to a commercial made bullet, just in my opinion. If that answers your question. I'm sorry, I went around the world with that.
I haven't found there to be too significant of a difference for handgun. Rifle's a whole nother story, right? That's
Right.
I don't have the experience that some of the other guys have with rifle shooting lead. I've only done it a couple times, really. I haven't got the years of experience. I mean, eagle eye paper patching and stuff like that. Those guys are now. When it comes to handguns, I have not found. Here's a significant difference, and I don't know if you've run across this. I get much more consistent bullets dipping than I do pouring. It's just because of the weight of the weight of the molten lead.
Yeah.
The dipper gives me a very consistently filled out bullet. So
I have one on order.
So when I go through and like if I'm gonna go with my 41 mag, I'll do this. If I'm gonna get serious, like I'm gonna go shoot at 100 yards or something, I'll actually weigh my bullets. And I can match them, and there's some big differences. And when I get ones that are relatively low, which I will get, I just throw them back in the pot because there's obviously voids in them somewhere, which is going to be off to one side, which is going to possibly make them, wobble in flight. So I haven't seen,
and I feel like that. Yes, what you're saying.
but a lot of that shit's me, man. If you take, and this is the God's honest truth, man. If you take your time and you know what your mold temp is, and you're hitting everything just the same every time, it'll come out really, really, really consistent. If you're like me and you're having fits and starts and having to let the dog out and all this other crap, your mold temperature's changing, your mix temperature's changing, you're gonna have inconsistencies. And I guess if I get into more rifle shooting. Sorry, Busco, what's that?
You said the mold temperature and stuff. I noticed that when I first did my first casting, that towards the end, I separated like my and you guys didn't see this stream when I first loaded it. Towards the beginning and the end, I separated them into different stacks, and after they cooled down, I weighed them, and they were a little different. So I kind of I'm assuming because you said the temperature, basically you got to be in that sweet spot whenever you're casting, I think. So I understand that what you're saying. Yeah.
Another one the guys are saying is stir the pot. I've gone, guys. I have to be honest. I've gone both ways with that. And what I mean by that is when you stir the pot, the idea of stirring the pot is to keep everything kind of amalgamated, right? Because the antimony's wanting to run away from the lead, and that's why you go ahead and flux and all that. Some people like leave junk on the top, and there's all kinds of techniques. And what I found, interestingly enough, sometimes it seems to matter, sometimes not, and I don't understand it. It has to be like a temperature thing or a barometric pressure thing, or who knows. But there's got to be something to it. But I've had several times with my RCBS pot, which is a bottom pour, where I can scrape and mix, and it does seem to help. And then other times where it doesn't seem to matter one way or the other. It's either good or other way it's bad. I haven't figured all that out yet. I mean, dead honest with you guys. Over the years, the 10 whatever years, 15 years I've been casting, I've never figured it out specifically.
And I left out that I left something out. I don't only use Barry's bullets. I use also Acme, and Acme is a lead bullet with a high tech coatings, and those shot very well too. And it could be because they're producing them in a big factory, and those shot just as well as the Barry bullets, Eddie. So if you think about it, that's a lead cast bullet. It's just produced by big tighter tolerances or quality control compared to what I'm doing at the moment. But those Acme shot very well. They shot just as accurate as those Barry bullets for me with that same load I was working. So I guess it depends on certain stuff. I'm gonna shoot a lot of more of the lead that I got from Jamie soon.
Tread asks, he's new to thinking about casting. If you use a bottom pour pot, why do you need to flux? The flux helps the carbon basically from the flux helps the mix to amalgamate. So you have tin, antimony, lead, and probably trace amounts of all kinds of other metals. And when you flux and you add that carbon to it, it helps the mix to get together and stay mixed. Because one of the problems you'll have, especially at certain temperatures, these things want to run away from each other. So even if it's a bottom pour pot, it's not that you're trying to get the trash out of it, right? Sometimes it does help to release the trash that's in it, but I don't have a lot of trash in my melt. I'll just tell you I don't. But when I go ahead and flux, I can tell a significant difference in actually the quality of my pour. But I flux really well. I do it with wax, and because I've always got the bottoms of candles laying around from the girlfriend or from me. So I can break them up and throw them in there. But yeah, it helps all those metals to stick together, right? Because they all want to melt at different temperatures. They want to be apart. So that's why you flux. And Fuzz says cleans the metals, but also helps the tin to reunite with the lead and the antimony. Yep, absolutely. Fuzz is the man. SNS has had large variation in weight. So what about you there, Eddie? What else you looking to do coming up here in the winter months? Once you get loose to some of those air rifle deals.
Oh, a buddy of mine that I shoot with a lot. We're just getting cranked back up. We've got a 500-yard range out at the club that I shoot at, and I spent a lot of time banging away at a 24-inch gong down there last year. So I'm gonna put an 8-inch gong down there and see how often I can hit that this year.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I've got a club that's real close to my house, and I mean it is really, really close to my house. I've kind of ignored them over the years because it wasn't that. The shooting arrangement was fine, but it wasn't great, and they were down in a hole. They're actually down in a river slough, so every time it rains, it would flood. I was like, man, I don't want to be a part of this. Well, they've done a lot with irrigation. They've really, really upgraded the place, and now I kind of want to jump on board, but it's a considerable amount of cash. They've got a long range down there now. And I'm like looking at that going, oh, man, that looks like fun. I got a 45-70 right now. I'd just love to lob them out there and see what I can do.
Hey,
yeah, that long range is addictive.
I bet it is. I got really big into it watching some of the guys from the Reloaders Network. You know, West Desert Shooter was really kind of one of the ones that really got me into it. And then watching Josh and him doing his 1,000-yard milk jug challenge and stuff like that with the Ruger, and it's just like, man, that looks like that's just hella fun.
Well, you know how Middle Georgia is; it's pretty hilly and woody here, so having 500 yards is an actual treat. I don't know of anywhere I can shoot any further than that.
You'll come up here, man.
Yeah, you have some real hills down there.
Yeah, 200. 300 yards is a long poke around here. And that's what I was telling Ozark Spirit. He was telling me I need to carry my 35 Remington into my tree stand, and I will. I got my favorite place on earth, I think, is about 100-yard square pasture in the middle of the woods. And that's where I'll be using my 35. But there's also more stands out there where I hunt with very long shots that, you know, I could have 2 or 3 400-yard shots, which I won't take. I'm not taking much over 250-yard shots. Ask Fuzz which one of those bullets he wants me to test for him.
Yes, sir.
He sent me the
Wang Chung, Jamie.
Did you just say Wang Chung?
That's what it sounded like.
Oh, I hope I didn't. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Wait on his. I might have. I'm gonna have to watch that. I'm sorry.
That's nice.
It sounded like you said Wang Chung tonight. Anyway, I have the 160 grain round nose flat point that I got from Willie. Has Willie made it to the chat room, by the way?
No, sir, I haven't seen him.
I'm gonna have to
I haven't
call
seen them yet.
And I also have the double-ended wad cutter from Willie. And ask Fuzz which one he wants to know how hard it is.
Do you? Yes. So, I want to know which bullet.
Chico, you are roboting like a big dog. Sorry, brother.
We heard none of that, Chico.
Nope.
Which makes that whole Wang Chung tonight even funnier. Wow, did you see this? That's a lot of money. Well, I guess it's not. Bigger Behind the Trigger says he has a range that sells 5-gallon buckets of range scrap for $25 each. They weigh 130 pounds. Holy crap, man! Buy.
Yeah, I'll buy that.
Boy, I would buy that I'd buy that in a heartbeat.
I'd take my pickup truck and say, "Give me 4 buckets."
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I ended up with 72 pounds of ingots out of those cowboy bullets I scraped up out at the range.
Yeah, it's surprising how fast it adds up. I saw some of the guys doing it. One of my reasons, this is so lazy. I hate wearing respirators. I hate them, especially when it's hot, and I will not go digging in a berm without a respirator on, especially after what happened with Steve. No, sir. But I know there's a ton of lead, and it's fast how quick it adds up. I don't know if you guys saw that where Fortune Cookie went in and got tested, and his lead levels were really elevated just from like a couple months of going and digging in a berm. And I'm like, nah.
Matter of fact, I did see that.
Yeah, I have not seen the 39 wad cutter, but not sure is what Fuzzy's saying.
He's saying what?
He said 38 wad cutter, but he's not sure. But he is sure, but he's not sure.
No, man, he better be sure. Look, he's been on me for 3 weeks to do this. He better tell me which bullet.
I think 3 weeks in Fuzz time is like 6 months in normal time, and he's kind of forgetting what he was giving you crap about.
All right, I'll do both. How about that?
Oh, yeah. Elvis definitely has some lead. We had a guy down here that, man, he had just tons of it. I mean, like literally tons of lead. So it is around some places. You just have to, I guess, find somebody that's willing to come off of it. Yeah, Chico, I don't know what's up with the Mr. Roboto thing, brother. I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully we can kind of, maybe it's all that cold, right?
That robot.
Hey, Willie's back.
Hey, Willie.
Willie's back. How's it going, brother? I hope you're doing all right. Yeah, Chico, that sounded a little bit better, buddy.
Okay. I put myself on mute for a second. I don't know if it would refresh or something like that. So sorry, guys. I was gonna start doing the robot over here.
Yeah, it's probably just the interwebs,
That's a lot better, man.
JCM, appreciate you coming out, man. Yeah, I appreciate everybody coming out. It's kind of ridiculous, you ask me, but how many people like to come over and watch us? We definitely appreciate it for dang, I'm sure. James Pollard says, "Hey, yeah, Armin. What I kind of made a mistake tonight when I built this chat, or when I built this event, I forgot to make it the low latency, and instead it's like the best quality. And when I do that, it can sometimes get a little crappy. And my internet's been junk lately, so we've been really lucky. And I tried to change it later, but I couldn't. But Yeah, Vanessa.
Yeah, I'm stuck out here in the country on 12 meg DSL.
Yeah, I've got Mediacom down here.
See, I normally don't have a problem with my internet.
Well, I guess not being where you're at, man. You should have super internet.
Yeah, seems like he's riding, but I see Armin at the bandwidth. Is that on my end or I'm not a computer guy?
Yeah, neither am I. I've never exactly figured out whether it's up or down or sideways that causes some of the problems. Oh,
Did you say
Insight.
Willie made it on the chat room?
Willie is back.
Fuck
Yes,
no, I
sir.
don't think
Willie
he can
is
do it.
here.
Hey, Willie. Been missing
Insight.
you.
Insight said y'all come up to East Tennessee. It's 2 mile ranges up there.
Where? East Tennessee's nothing but mountains and hills and such. I guess down those
Oh,
hollers.
he said near Oak Ridge.
Well,
I'm
I
not
bet
sure
the
where
only
that is.
down here it is so flat. It's just you'd have to find somewhere where there weren't any trees. I mean, it is just so flat. But the problem is it's so flat you're afraid to shoot anywhere because I mean it's just stuff could go forever. Now up where Jamie's at and where Eddie's at, I mean the only place you're gonna find 2 miles of straight path is the interstate, and they really frown upon that. Even if it's 3 o'clock in the morning, you think you're clear. No shooting on the interstate. Yeah, sometimes the router gets jammed up. Yeah, I think that's what I was running into, some kind of problems with my router. It was dropping because I got 2 different legs on my Wi-Fi, and it was dropping a leg, and then it would pick it up, and then it would drop the other one, and it was carrying on and acting stupid. I unplugged it for like a day. Now all of a sudden it seems to be back better.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to restart stuff. Like these iPhones we all use, there comes a point in time where you just need to turn the thing off and turn it back on.
Tread, I agree, brother. It is about the camaraderie and the chat and everybody kind of talking. And, I agree. That's why I like doing these. That's why I like doing them. That's why I like to go over, and catch the other ones when I can. Even if I'm not able to jump on it on the panel, I love to come in and check out, see what's going on and talk. I miss Uncle Jim's chats. I haven't been I think I might have got to the hat chat last time. I don't know. It feels like it's been forever. Put a full hat on and try again. Yes, sir. You can do it either in the shipman type or the pointy type. Either one I think works. Thunder Valley Precision shooting a mile. That's crazy. That's a long ways, man.
Here we go. This is the wad cutter, and I have a flat spot filed down on it, sanded down on it. So y'all have to walk me through this, make sure I'm doing it right. I don't want to give Fuzz any wrong information. Here are my pencils. If I can see them. And here's my... And they felt pretty hard when I was filing them down. They really did. 2B is 11 and 12. Here's a 2B. Let's try this. Okay, now if y'all can see the pencil, I've got it sharpened but filed flat across the top. And the way I understood, is New York City out there?
No, sir.
He'll chime in and help me if I need it. I take it like this, and I try to get at a 45-degree angle. All right, now see, all that one did is make a mark on it. Like I put a pencil mark on the lead. So it's going to be harder than a 2B. And 2B is 11 to 12. Next one up is a B. Okay, now that scratched it. Y'all can't see that, can you? The 2B put a scratch on it. kind of scribed it. Try the next one up is HB. Man, it sure did get quiet out there.
Well, I've already answered Willie's question, but let me confirm that Willie said, "Is that the wide cutter I sent you, Mr. Jamie?" I said yes.
This is the this one right here is the 160 grain round flat, but I have the wad cutter. I've also got a flat place on it, and I'm gonna do it next.
Okay.
So
Sorry, Willie, I messed up.
I'm assuming, ask him if it's the same alloy. Is it the same alloy, Willie? All right, this is HB, guys. Try to get at my angle. Let's see, all that did was put a scratch on it as well. No, it didn't. That dug into it. See, what I want and what I go by, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but I want that pencil to lay up a little thin slice of lead. Or is merely scratching it enough?
As far as I know, putting a dent in it says that the pencil's harder than the lead, but that's my take on it. I haven't done it, so that's just what I've read.
If you can see that, and I know probably maybe some of you with some big old computer screens can, but if you look at it, you can see where it's laid the lead up. So I'm going with HB. HB is 14 to 15. So that's the round flat. And so let's try the back off here. 2B.
Not to be, says PC Bullet Empire.
Let's go with 3B then. So so that's just making a mark on it.
Jamie, he said it's George. For what that's worth.
What?
Might be something Kyle sent him. He said it's Georgia's lead. So about the same alloy? Yeah. Yes, rather.
So both the same alloy. Well, all right, here's HB 14 to 15, 45-degree angle. And it's making a dent in it. Let's try the next one up. Next one is F, and it's 16 to 18. Yeah. All right, so I'm saying they're between 13 and 15 BHN.
Jamie, Eagle Eye says that he heard the curling of the lead indicates the hardness according to the LASC article. A scratch is indicative of the hardness with the pencil. You're doing it correct, Jamie. So you got it, man.
And who said that?
Eagle Eye.
We need him on our chat.
Yes, sir.
I've been wanting to get him on here for ever since we started doing this. I would love to have Eagle on some weekend.
Spectroscopes. Vanessa asks, any spectroscopes available to buy to test our recycled lead? Not that I have no idea. I don't even know what a spectroscope is. It sounds impressive, though. Preacher's day off. Oh, buddy. Yeah, Mig's on here. I haven't talked to you in a while, man. I hope everything's going well for you. Catherine and I were just looking at something the other day, and I was thinking about Highway 41 that runs right through here. And I was trying to figure out where it went. and I went and looked because I mean, a lot of highways and stuff. 41 goes north south. Yeah, it goes by there. It goes all the way up to the Upper Peninsula. That's where it stops. I was like, man, I figured it was going to end up curling up around New York. Nope. Like, oh.
41 used to be the main highway through Georgia before they built I-75.
Yeah, and it runs all the way up to, like I said, the Upper Peninsula in Michigan. That's where it finally stops.
So there you go, Fuzz. I'm saying 15 BHN, between 13 and 15. The B, well, the 2B made a mark on it. The B scratched it, but the HB laid up a little bit of lead there. So I hope y'all got that. I didn't know I was going to have to work for my supper tonight. And Mr. Fuzz, glad to be of service to you, sir. I hope that helped. I really do. And I apologize to Fuzz for taking so long to get that done, but I'm in the midst of moving all my stuff into one centralized location, and it's very malorganized right now, but it's going to be doing better. And while we're working on projects, do I need to test some ladle pour bullet weights against some bottom pour bullet weights?
Man, if you want to, I've just found my ladles to always be a little bit more consistent.
I think it's by nature you're stirring it to scoop the lead up.
Well, I tend to think it's because it's pressure fed, right? Because you have the ladle holds a certain amount of lead that's forcing all the lead into the bullet cavity, right? Your puddle, your sprue is supposed to do the same thing, but this is actually a lot more weight behind it, and I think that it helps it fill out and it keeps it from getting any kind of cavities and stuff in it. But that's my take on it. It might not be true.
If you'll take the spout in that ladle and put the sprue of your mold on top of that like that, and then turn it over like that, man,
Yeah.
that is gushing that lead down in there.
Yep, that's how I do it. You hold them together and flip them over, and then pull it off, and that really does gush that lead in there, and it makes it. There's certain bullets I have that's about the only way I can get them to cast a decent bullet. Did Jamie do a 2000 sub 2000 unboxing yet? I don't know, brother. I don't know what's going on. Me being
No.
Oh, okay.
I think he's talking about the tacos giveaway.
Yeah.
The answer would be no. Do I need to elaborate on that?
If you want to.
Oh.
I did win the drawing. Thanks, Mr. Taco. And I am in communication with him about getting it shipped down here. We got FFLs trying to converse with each other. But on the other hand, it gave me the opportunity to invite him to our chat. So maybe sometime in the not so distant future, we'll have maybe Eagle Eye on one week, and then we'll have Mr. Taco as well. Depends on working everybody's schedule out. What happened to Eddie? You still there, Eddie?
I'm here.
You sure are being quiet.
Just listening.
You didn't
I'll be
know
right
we were
back.
going to be doing all these experiments tonight, did you?
Yeah, you don't
Hey,
know.
I learn something new every day.
Okay, since I had to go dig these bullets out, let me tell you what I'm going to do. I got these bullets right here. If y'all can see these, those are the bullets I made for the Taco Apocalypse video. Those were ladle poured, and they are pan lube though. That might throw us off, but I guess anyway. I also have the exact same bullet right here that I drop poured and powder coated. So what if we took like 5 of each and weigh them? Would that be worth doing?
Sure, why not?
I'm dropping them everything all over the place.
Well,
don't say it. I know what you're thinking.
Yeah. Something about the Heartbreak Hotel.
Down at the end of Lonely Street. Let me take just a second right here. I want y'all to look at those things.
That came out really nice.
Those are some of my casting. That's the Ford Dark Blue. They turned out pretty neat, didn't they?
They
Those
really
are beautiful bullets. Not that y'all care, but
I care. Oh no, they look good. They that's a whole nother thing, man. It's getting into which powder coats look the best. Not so much just the ones that are the easiest, which ones look the best. That blue looks really, really good.
Yeah, I like it.
Chico got cold and went inside.
I did get cold.
I am not sitting down in this garage anymore.
Ooh, it was chilly out there.
Yes, sir.
Let me tell you, man, my neighbor during the 4th of July was shooting fireworks, and one came through my siding right by my reloading bench, and I was hot, and I was like, you gonna pay for that? So I got a little draft in there right now, but we're working that out as good neighbors should. So yeah.
Well, at least you got good neighbors, man. I've got one really good neighbor, and then I got another one that has a wrestling ring in my backyard, basically. Yeah, man, that's rough. Dude, that is rough.
Eddie or Chico, do y'all have a pencil and piece of paper?
I don't.
I have my I've got a notepad on this other tablet, on Carter's tablet, and I can document.
I'm gonna call out these bullet weights to you. We'll see how much they vary.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna go with the bottom pour powder coated first. You ready?
Yes, sir.
And this is according to my weigh aisle. 152.4. 153.2. 153.3. 153.4. And 153.6. And this is terribly non-scientific or anything. We just picked out 5 of each type of bullets. And I'm trying on these that are pan lubed, I'm trying to wipe off the excess lube off so we'll have more representative. Okay, Chico, you ready for the next group?
Yes, sir.
All right, these are the ladle cast outside with a fire and pan lubed. 155.1. 156.0. 153.1. 155.2. Ain't looking good for the ladle pour so far, is it? And 154.5. 154.5. What do you think, man?
Yeah, we got the highest one on the ladle pour, but you did those outside in the fire, but it's also pan lube. Are you sure you got well, I'm sorry, the highest is 156 and the lowest is 153.1. Does that 156 happen to have any extra lube on it? Or you wiped it all off, you said?
I tried, but yeah, there's no way of telling, man.
All right.
That's what I said. It's very unscientific.
Right, and the first set you gave me, which were powder coated, the highest was 153.6 and the lowest was 152.4. So I mean that's definitely more consistent than I can get you guys. I can get an average here. That's definitely more consistent with the powder coatings, the powder coated ones, but the ladle cast. Now, if you'd had ladle cast that was powder coated, that'd be interesting.
That'd be more comparative.
Right.
When you put the lube on there, there's no way to make sure you got the same amount of lube.
Same amount.
The more scientific approach would be to do them raw before you do anything to them.
I agree.
Because your powder coat can vary the thickness in one spot than from another.
Yeah, the other thing to keep in mind is the temperature which you're casting, right? For instance, like my little Lyman pot, if I let the pot get kind of low, let's say about halfway, and I'm casting with those, and I'm pouring those will be hell and gone heavier than the ones I casted earlier when the pot was more full for a ladle pour, because the lower that pot gets, the hotter it gets. And that pot is bad about that. By the time you get to the bottom, that pot is hot, and it just makes it fill out even more. So that's for me when I'm doing my ladle pour. I kind of have to try to keep my lead to the same. Like I'll run it down about an inch and a half in that little pot, and then I'll just fill it back up and let it come to temp. And then it takes a while, but it gets some really consistent bullets for me. Cranky Cletus says he used high tech. I've never used it. I know a lot of people have. It seems like a really complicated process, and I don't know, somehow or another, how's that complicated? Like I make my own bullets, but nonetheless, too complicated for my silly butt.
I think it's just the reason most of us shy away from doing that is the multiple steps of coating and baking. We want to do it one time and be done.
Yeah.
But I'll admit freely, especially to Cletus, those bullets he sends out are absolutely fabulous. They look beautiful, and you get much more even and covering doing that. I believe, because I've seen what I put out and I've seen what he produces too, and they're those high tech things really look good. It also depends on the powder you're powder coating with too, because take these for example. These yellow 35 Remington, the school bus yellow ones that the emperor calls macaroni and cheese. I'm trying to shoot these up as fast as I can. Guys, when I started this 35 Remington series, I had a 1 pound coffee can like this full of 200 grain bullets. It's running out, man. I'm gonna have to cast more bullets.
All right, I got some numbers for you guys. I'm sorry, Jamie.
Go ahead.
So with that first group, you got an average of 153.18 grains, And so I guess you would say the deviation or the difference between the highest and the lowest is 4/10 of a grain. That's with that first group, the powder coated group. And the ladle cast group, the average was 154.78 grains, with a difference from the highest and the lowest 2.9 grains. So that is, in my opinion, that makes a big difference.
Makes a lot of difference.
Yeah, compared to the 4/10. So, but that was interesting to do. Actually, I appreciate that. It keeps everybody involved, I think.
That's the game plan. I think it. I think. No, I don't think. I don't think no more. I'm beyond that.
Well, you're not going to be thinking much after this weekend, because if I don't say anything, the loaded cap gun's gonna get on my case. But that Georgia shirt there, Jamie, is probably gonna look a little foolish after these Gators get done going through them.
Oh,
Oh,
don't say it.
let me tell y'all something. You know I'm a big time Georgia Bulldog fan. I love my dogs. I'm glad they got Kirby Smart. And I'm not going by LSU beat Georgia, Florida beat LSU. That's not my point. I just feel like that Georgia's going to lose tomorrow.
Yeah, most likely. I'm not a big Florida fan, but she is, and from what she's been saying and everything else, it's looking like that's pretty well that would be the favored outcome, or the most likely outcome. What melting pot are you using for casting? Oh, Armor Axe has asked me what melting pot I'm using. I got two. I got an RCBS Pro Melt 20, and I also have a Lyman Big Dipper, which is kind of it's a dipping pot, and it's an older one.
I have that pot. I have a Lyman Big Dipper, and that's how I got my ladle.
Yep.
It came with a ladle, and that Lyman ladle is just, man, if you ain't got one, you need to get one.
It's really nice. My dad has one that's a little bit smaller, and I like it too. Now there's one that, like, I think it's the RCBS one that's way small. I like the Lyman one out of all of them, and that Lee one was terrible. That Lee one wasn't even. That's not even a ladle. That's a spoon.
Kyle, did y'all see Kyle ordered one and got it in here, and he was talking about it was a teaspoon? And
Yes.
did you see that, Eddie?
I didn't see it.
He held up the ladle in one hand, and then held up a quarter in this hand, and that like that, and the quarter was bigger around than the ladle. And he's like, "What mold is that going to fill up?"
This one, it'll fill this one.
Yeah, that one you got. Yeah. So how many we have on?
Oh,
7.
right now 17. We've been up to 24. Loaded Cap Gun made a slight mistake in saying that I am wearing the right colors. That is not correct. My colors actually are Dodgers blue and Giants orange, which has nothing to do with the Gators.
Florida changed their color blue to more like a aqua looking. Have I just dreamed that?
I don't know. I haven't seen it that way, but maybe.
No, if you watch the game tomorrow, y'all pay attention to that shade of blue Florida's wearing now. I think it's more like almost like a Miami Dolphins blue.
Ooh, boy, that would get. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Yeah. She's also a Green Bay fan, which is kind of odd. I don't know how that happened, but yeah. We're probably going to watch the game hopefully tomorrow. We'll see.
I'll explain it to you when we get off the air, brother.
Fair enough. Yeah, because I don't get it. But then again, I'm a simple man.
Me too.
Yeah.
I just have notions and ideas. So Kyle kind of abandoned us, didn't he?
Yeah, but him having to help out a friend, so I understand that for sure.
I do too. And I also happen to know what friend he's helping out, so I have no problem with it. One thing I do want to show you guys. Y'all know I've been doing this 35 Remington thing. So I loaded up some hunting rounds the other day. And here they are.
Is
I
that
got
gray powder coat?
what this is the Eastwood V Twin Orange coated over with Ford Light Blue. And it turned out this pretty gray color.
Yeah, that's nice. I like that color.
It's got little blue and gray speckles in it. You
They
can't see.
almost look like some old lead cast bullets some old lead bullets, just regular bullets to me, color wise. That's interesting.
I like them, but I loaded them up with they run around 203 to 204, right around in there. And I didn't go to all the care that I usually do with my test bullets that I do in the 35 Remington series. But I loaded them up with 38 and a half grains of ramshot tack. And the reason I did was because during the testing and the 35 Remington stuff that I've been doing, is that was just over half an inch running at right around 2,100 feet per second. And I thought that'll kill a deer. So I'm going to try to film some hunts. I don't know if I'm going to be able to or not, but I thought that would be an interesting addition to my channel if I can get some hunts on camera and post them.
Absolutely.
That'd definitely be cool. Yeah.
That's taking it from load development, figuring it out, and then practical application. Man, that's cradle to grave. That's the way to do it.
Well, that would be. I went the other night, trimmed around my stand, and the guys at where we hunt were kind of picking on me because I hadn't been out there yet. The property owner's 11-year-old son killed a 7-pointer opening morning. It went about 145, 155 pounds. And of course, Dad's taking it to get it mounted for him. So, and they're down at the Georgia-Florida game right now. And please tell Loaded Cap Gun that this T-shirt is my Friday uniform.
I will. I'll make sure that she is fully aware.
You also need to understand I'm not a fair weather fan. I'm a Georgia fan whether they play well or not. And I was born in 62. The Braves came in, 66, 65, 66 from Milwaukee. The Falcons came that same fall, if I'm not mistaken, in 66. They were an expansion team. And so I've been through the lean years with my teams is basically what I'm telling you. Eddie, how long have you been in Georgia, Eddie?
All my life.
Right on.
Like I had to ask that. So
I was born down in Waycross.
So you know where I'm coming from.
Oh yeah.
And about the Falcon Saints rivalry, there was a lot of years that the only chance either one of those two teams had to win a game all year was to beat Atlanta or New Orleans.
Beat each other, yeah.
Yeah. So that's where that rivalry come from.
Yeah, there's a couple really good old NFL rivalries like that. It's too bad the NFL's gotten as weird as it has.
Well, wasn't that bad till they started kneeling for the national anthem.
Well, I mean, I just thinking about it as a kid, man, the game seems to have, like, the rules, it sounds so ridiculous, but to me, the refs are so involved in the game that it's ruined it for me, even before this crap went down. Like, I stopped watching football, or NFL, probably 7 years ago regularly. I just don't watch anymore. Now I'm getting into hockey. Let's look at heck with it. I mean, I just don't. I don't know, and it's just because like to me the refs are just way too involved. It's getting that bad in baseball. Stupid instant
Well,
replay.
when we were kids, we had real men that played football. I mean, they played football, but they also had other jobs during the off season. Back when I was a kid, baseball players did too. Unless you were Hank Aaron or Mickey Mantle, you know.
Yeah, that stuff's changed a lot. That's for sure. Chico's says he's an '80s baby. That would be me as well, bro. I was born in the '70s, but most of all my memories come out of the '80s and stuff. So
I see everybody was putting their year of birth out, so I was like,
yeah.
let me.
Yeah,
I bet me and Eddie B is just about the same year.
I never get that though. Like especially if I shave, I get ID'd for the lottery sometimes. That just drives me damn crazy. You know, if I shave and I don't have a beard, I go in the store and play the lottery. Like, yeah, look, can I get a Powerball? They like, ID. I'm like, for real. Like, so
that's funny, man.
I appreciate it now though. You know, when I was younger, that drove me crazy. But I appreciate it now because I look not like I was born in the '80s. So
Yeah. Well, the beards helped me for dang, I'm sure. Well, somewhere I think this sounds crazy, but up until I was almost 30, I looked really young, and it started to catch up with me a little bit, and then I grew out the beard. It's got a bunch of gray in it. It's like I don't get carded nearly as much as I used to, but I feel the pain, man.
Yeah.
Up till I was 30, it was like, yeah, it was pretty bad.
Well, y'all know I don't buy alcohol or lottery tickets, but if I got carded nowadays, I would buy that. Whoever did it, I'd buy them their supper, man. I was born in Eddie B. I was born in '62. What year were you born?
69. I just barely made it in the 60s.
Dang, man. I'm once again, I'm the old fart in the room.
There was somebody in here that was from the 50s. Besides, it might have been 52. No, that's his age. Well, Fuzz is older than you, I'm sure.
Yeah, Fuzz is older than me. We were talking on live chat. Not on live chat, but just on Hangouts the other night. It was me, Oceans, the Emperor, one of the Coach brothers. I think it was the older one. And Kyle and Willie Bullockman. So that was like 4, 5, 6 of us.
That sounds like a good hangout.
And I was the oldest one in the room. I was sure the Emperor was older than me, but I got him by about 6 or 7 years.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So most of the crew's about a decade older than I am. Because I was born in '79. So most of them are about 69, 68, 65, somewhere around there.
No, I'm 56, and I'm turning out to be one of them.
Yeah,
I'm in '81, so I should have said my year instead of '80s, baby. I'm '81, so I still think it's a great year. Hey, I was born then, so but
Let's see, my son was born in '86.
my little brother was born in '86.
I was 24 when he was born. And my baby girl was born in '88. And that's the year I bought my 586. And it has no dash. So I kind of like that. It reminds me of her every time I go to shoot it.
Cranky said something Cranky said something in the side chat. He said, do you call if they were the 155 or 124 grain bullets, ? I wonder who, I missed that. I don't know if anyone answered that in the side chat, but I don't know who he was talking to because I was doing something. I was trying to make sure I didn't miss any.
Was he talking about those bullets I was hardness testing for him?
I think so.
The ones The ones I tested were the 150, the 160 grain round flat, 158 grain, and the full wad cutter. And I don't know how much it weighs.
He said he sent them if that's what he was talking about. He said he'd send them so you can test against each other, which that'll be. I'm interested in seeing that. I'm definitely interested. Has anyone used the Lee? Is it Lee's hardness tester, the one where you crank down and smash it and all that? I know you guys.
Yeah, Lee's got the little ball, and you measure the width of the ball pushed into the thing using the press. Yep. But I think the pencil test works better, or it's a sight cheaper. That's for darn sure.
Yeah, I seen that.
File with a couple pencils.
Yeah, I got to get me some of those pencils.
Oh, I bought them at Walmart. I paid like $6 for them. And that Lee tester will run you 10 times that.
Yes, I seen that.
They run between 60 and $70.
Bud said he almost missed the Mayflower when it crossed over, so he's definitely older than everybody here.
Who said that?
Buzz.
Yeah, he said he was throwing another log on the fire, man. I wish my house has a fireplace or had a fireplace in it now, and this makes no sense. I can't actually it's all boxed in, and they made it part of the air conditioning inlet. I can't see all the way around, but I can't actually find the fireplace. It's just a chimney that seems to go all the way from the top all the way down to the dirt. I can't figure out why. I'm probably gonna have to tear it all out eventually, but I wish I had a fireplace in this house. Cranky, you don't have a revolver. You're not a huh? Man, I can't imagine what that would be like. Like the last time I haven't had a revolver, I think I was young. I love shooting revolvers. That's my weapon of choice. It's one of the things that me and Loads of Bacon definitely have in common is both of us tend to go more towards revolvers than anything.
Yeah, I'm a revolver lever gun kind of dude, but y'all already knew that.
I don't know if y'all see Eagle Eye Shooting. He's responding to me. He said he used a tester and his PC scanner to scan the bullet. That's fancy. And then he used a GIMP and a free image editor to measure the dimple size. Very, very accurate. That's awesome, brother. I'd be interested in seeing a video on that if you have it. That's pretty slick. That's real technological. Blah, blah, blah. Excuse me.
That's technologically advanced.
There we go. Thank you.
Yes, sir. I got you back, brother. Yeah, that is that. I mean, that's certainly a good way to do it, because that's what I saw. It comes with like a jeweler's eye thing, and you're supposed to like look in there and all this. And I'm just like, man, at that size, you can't be accurate. Like a thousandth of an inch one way or the other, you're not going to be able to pick that up with a circle divot. But doing it the way he's saying, where you can blow it up and you can actually see what's going on, that might work.
That's cool.
Yes, Armanax, his GIMP is a program, software program. It has nothing to do with leather or rubber at all. Nothing. Yes, Uncle Jim, they are messy and loud. That's why I really want to get a 22 semi-auto so that we can play, even though I know that that's not exactly the best bet for suppressed, but something I want to mess with. Fuzzy gonna walk the dog. Well, where we at, guys? All right, we still got a little bit. Still got about 10 minutes or so.
Is Eddie still? Oh, he's still here.
Yeah, Eddie. Yeah, our guest.
Just listening and learning.
What is your favorite bullet to cast or reload, Eddie?
I probably load more 357 than anything else. So I'm not casting for it yet. Like I said, the only thing I'm casting is 223 and the 30 grain air gun bullet. But I load more 357s, 357 and 223 probably.
Do you
I'm not.
Do you have multiple 357 revolvers or guns, or are you shooting lever guns with it?
I have a revolver and a Henry lever action.
How do you like that Henry? How's it feed? Here's some questions.
Oh, I love it. It feeds great. Yeah.
Really? Damn,
Yeah.
it's just me.
It's really slick. A lot of people get hung up on the loading tube, but it doesn't bother me.
I don't mind the loading tube. My problem with it was when I using lead bullets with the longer noses, the feed ramp's too short, so they won't actually pull it up and feed it. But I have to deep seat. But I'm guessing with you're using jacketed in 357, you said you're probably not running into that too often unless you start loading some heavy bullets. Have you tried any of those yet?
Actually, no, I'm buying cast. I bought cast bullets for it. I'm shooting a 130 and a 148, I believe, but they're cast. And I haven't had any feeding issues at all.
Yeah, I've used. I haven't got the 357. I've got the 45 Colt, and I saw somebody else having a problem with the 44 mag. So I'd be interested to find out if it's a little bit better with the 357 because that would be interesting because I guess 357 does have some pretty long nosed bullets, especially if you get into 158, which is what I normally shoot.
Yeah, I don't know that I've tried any 158. I know I've loaded 130 and 148. I don't think I have any 158. Now I've shot some 158 jacketed and not had any issue with them.
Yeah, I've got like some Sierra hollow cavity 158s that are like, I know you're not supposed to use reloads for man stopping purposes, but man, it's like, good God, those bullets are made for it.
That's my man stopper.
Yeah, that'll get the job done for sure. I've been using those Sierras for that purpose, like for what's loaded and sitting in the at the nightstand. But
So Eddie, I got a quick. Who's that? I'm sorry, Jamie. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna ask Eddie. It's about the casting. I ask all questions. New people or wiser people, seasoned people. So if I'm thinking, I don't want to assume. If you was deciding, since you decided to get into casting, you probably have a good source of 30 South wheel weight somewhere or something like that, or a good source of lead possibly.
Actually, yeah, just range scrap. The range that I do that has never been mined, for lack of a better word. I don't think anybody's ever collected lead out there before, as far as I tell.
Gotcha.
I have a that shoots, as far as I can tell. There's no shortage of lead. It didn't take me long to get about 3/4 of a 5-gallon bucket, maybe 30 minutes.
Cool. That's always
good
good.
stuff too. That's got you can take the copper jackets after you smelt it down and just sell that to the recyclers.
Well, actually, these bullets have no jacket at all. They're just pure lead.
Yeah, baby.
So it's like a virgin range that nobody has dug up.
Exactly. Well, you don't have to dig it. You just scrape it off the top. They're just, they shoot a lot of steel and the bullets are just all pancaked and laying on top.
That's cool.
Yeah. So what range do they, how far away are they when they're shooting these steel targets?
They're really close. I've really never participated in it. I've watched a little bit of on YouTube, but I would say probably not more than 15, 20 yards. I'm just guessing.
And that's competitive shooting?
Yeah, it's the cowboy action shooting. And they shoot dead soft lead. I think they shoot 15 and under. I don't think they shoot anything hard.
Yeah, 15's about right, or a little bit, actually a little on the hard side for some pistol type stuff.
Yeah.
But for rifle type stuff like that 350, like the 35 Remingtons that I'm pushing out at 2,000 feet per second, I want around 18 for that. 18 to 20 to 22 be good. And with these hunting loads, I'm trying to keep it down around 18 to 20. That way I can get some expansion once it hits your target, you know.
Well, everything I'm casting at this point, I want it as soft as I can get it because I'm shooting slow and I want some expansion. So I'm not really haven't experimented with any way to harden it or anything.
Well, I got some ideas. If you decide you want to do that, let me know. We'll talk about it.
Okay, yeah, I'm thinking my next mold is probably going to be a 4570 hollow point. I'm paying a lot of money for those, so I think that would save me some money.
Hollow points, casting hollow points is another rabbit hole to go down. That's a different story. I've never done that. You're gonna have to put some tin in there to get it to do right.
Yeah, I think there's some tin in these bullets because well, this is going to show up, but that's really again I don't know how it's showing up, but it's really nice and shiny. So I'm pretty sure they've got some tin in them.
Could be. Could be. Yeah, one thing that make them harder is to drop them in a bucket of water. Water quench them.
Yeah, TATV does a really good job on that. If you're wanting to understand, that's the difference hardness that comes from water quenching and time. He does a hell of a job, actually.
Yeah, that's something I'll be looking into, but at this point, I haven't found it necessary.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. I used to do it to everything. Now the only thing I still water drop are my are things that I developed a load that way. I've rarely water drop any of my handgun stuff anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, again, I'm shooting everything subsonic, so I really don't care about it being hard.
yeah, that's it, man. That's the thing. Like, it's so hard to get. I think to get it figured out, the dynamics of it. But yeah, if you've got, this soft bullet does a great job. There's no reason to have it hard if you're
It
not.
does.
Yeah, that was one of the problems I was running into. Is I didn't exactly understand what was causing bullet melt, what was causing gas cut, and what was causing stripping. When I first started reload or casting, I didn't get all that. So I was just casting my bullets harder and harder because that's what the guys in the forums kept saying. And I was using, wheel weights and water dropping and stuff like that when I'm shooting, 1,200 feet per second. And I was like, that's no reason to do that. But especially now with
I think I only have one load that even approaches 1,200 feet per second, and that's a 4570 load.
yeah, well, especially nowadays with powder coated bullets. I mean, you're just not. There's just no.
All of my supersonic stuff, I'm loading jacketed bullets. I haven't really played with cast for that.
No. Yeah, Eagle S is adding a gas check will help with leading. Yeah, it does. For sure, especially with the rifles.
Yeah, I just haven't experienced any leading at the velocities I'm loading for with the cast bullets.
Yeah, it's kind of in the same boat, even though I don't do a lot of the rifle shooting. But well, guys, we're coming up close here on time, so want to go through, talk about what we're talking about, what we're doing. Let everybody know if we got something cool coming up or something boring coming up. That's most likely me. We'll come back around.
Sure. We ready to do that? I'll go first. I like going first. So guys in the side chat, thanks for being here. Hey, thanks for showing up and asking questions. You know what? I want to give a big shout out to Eddie because as panel members, we try to go through and help our sponsor. I want to say Nathan, because he's doing a lot of stuff. So I was trying to go through and look at questions that people were asking Eddie. And Eddie's already answering the question, so I definitely appreciate that. I was like, he's on top of it, and he's answering Nathan's question, and he's answering questions in the side chat. So I was like, I appreciate that, brother. But yeah, guys, thanks for being here. Let me see what I have coming up. I've got a few interesting videos coming up. Some maybe you might be a reloader videos and some 45 ACP videos coming up. And to all you guys who's not familiar, I've started moving a lot of my videos to TRN because I felt like I was lacking on that. And I definitely noticed I got more of a following. Like guys were saying, hey, I would have never sent you unless you posted. I would have never sent you on YouTube if you didn't post here. So, you know, it's more guys that's like-minded and girls that's like-minded over on TRN. And so if y'all don't know about it, y'all need to check it out. And that's it. Chico Wise from the Dirty South.
Go ahead, Eddie.
Yeah, just like I said, this is my first time on Hangouts, first time I've done anything like this, and it was an experience. I know I've been a little quiet. I've just been trying to take it all in, keep up with the chat, and keep up with this. And you know, I don't know. I don't really think I'm a very interesting person, but I'll see what I can add when I can.
Aren't we all, man? I know the feeling there. It's like what can I talk about for 2 hours, right? Nothing really. I'm not that interesting, but I think you're pretty interesting. I've had a good time talking with you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm a little quirky. I like low and slow, and like I said, I play with little teeny bits of powder and soft bullets, and I just have fun.
Well, doing that is awesome because it's a different perspective, right? It's something different than some of the other guys are doing. You know, some people are going with heavy bullets as fast as they can, and different people doing hunting stuff. So I love getting that view, like somebody's going out and just I'm not gonna say plinking, but target shooting, doing your thing. I love to get more, more information about exactly how it is that you're coming up with some of your loads and stuff. Sometime I appreciate it. She's having a time, ain't she?
Yeah, man.
Well, you know, again, I just want to say thank you for having me, and maybe we can do it again sometime.
I hate to tell you, brother, but you're from Georgia, and this is the Georgia Shooters Connection.
Yeah. Kind of a thing, man.
It is.
I definitely enjoyed you being on here, brother, man. It's especially, you know, we're all from the same place or live in the same place. But yeah, I definitely appreciate you being on here, man. I enjoyed your video. So if you guys don't know Eddie B, make sure y'all look at some of his videos. He's got some interesting videos.
He does. He's a cool dude. We appreciate you being with us tonight, Eddie.
Hey, thanks, guys. I enjoyed it.
Little hot dogs here tonight. So she's not going to let me talk. Why don't you go in there and see Nana? Go see Mimi. No. She's got this thing. Are you going to see Pawpaw? No. Well, where are you going? Said, I'm going to Pawpaw's house. She's 3-year-old little girl, and she's already instinctively knows how to say no. What about that? They learn it young, guys, I'm telling you. But I already have the next load in my 35 Remington series stuff loaded up. It'll be number 7. It's using IMR 3031. Papa's talking. Will you be quiet? No. So I'll be we'll be taking that out, testing it soon. Like I said earlier, I'm gonna try to get in some hunting. I'm gonna try to figure out how I can video some hunts and hopefully add those videos. I think that would be fun. I think maybe somebody would like to see that. But other than that, that's about it. We got the holidays coming up. Thanksgiving will be here before you know it, and Christmas just around the corner. And it's not even Halloween yet, and the Christmas stuff is already out in the stores. Go figure. But anyway, thanks, Eddie, for being here. And I want to thank Nathan for the work he does with us and hosting us, and thank everybody for tuning in and watching us, because y'all truly are a highlight of our week, and we just really enjoy these Friday nights with you guys.
Well, I enjoyed it as well. Eddie, thanks for coming out, buddy. I appreciate it. Jamie and Chico always keeping it live. Kyle, thanks for coming in for a little while. Guys, we've had up to 24 viewers at different times. It has been amazing. I appreciate everybody coming out. I want y'all to think about Chico, or think about C-Max's family and Ed USAF's family. This time we got a Halloween coming up. I think there's going to be a Halloween live chat on Uncle Jim's channel, possibly. It's going to be probably a hat chat. If you don't know Uncle Jim, you need to go ahead and take a look at his channel. He's in the side chat. In addition, you go over to the Reloaders Network, take a look at what's going on over there. As Chico said, he's posting his videos. When and if I ever do another one, I post over there. So does Jamie. It's a great place to have all your videos come, especially in a day when we're having videos pulled off of YouTube. So, guys, I appreciate everybody coming out. If there's anything ever you need, just go ahead and give us a holler on either YouTube or on Slack, and we'll be sure to help out. And I appreciate it. So, Tread asked me a question earlier about something about kind of bullet hardness, all this, man. It is a very deep subject, one of which I'm sure we'll just do an entire chat on eventually. So it's just too hard to kind of answer that too quickly. But I appreciate everybody coming out, and we will see you next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. So we'll see you then. Thanks. Bye.
Good night.
Night, guys. Have a good weekend.
Night.